Welcome, everyone, to the 2021-2022 school year. My name is Mrs. Brooks, and I am located in classroom C5. I will be your fifth grade teacher for this year. A couple things that I did want to kind of go over just to kind of introduce you to the way that our classroom is going to be ran. It looks like this. So we start off with the daily schedule. And in this daily schedule, we start off with our morning mindfulness meeting, which is kind of based upon collaboration and teamwork and getting to know each other type activities. Then it leads us into reading for about 30 minutes. And then we go to specials from 8:30 to 9:15. Specials on a rotational basis. And then from 9:15 to 10:05, the reading and the writing block are going to be kind of changed a little bit, adapted. So we're going to have one full week of reading in which we're going to have our whole group lessons that totally focus on state standards, standards that we basically need to learn before we get to sixth grade. And then we also going to include station time as well as small group instruction time to make sure that we're filling in those gaps for anything that you might not understand or anything you need extra practice on. And then the next week, we're going to have a full week of writing, in which is going to look similar to the breakdown of it, whole group lessons. And then we're going to have small group instruction time as well as stations in order to help us fill in those gaps that we might need or additional advancements in standards that we've already mastered in order to push us and get ready for sixth grade. Then from about 10:05 to 11:05, we have a full hour dedicated to math in which we'll have similar structure. You're going to have whole group lessons as well as station times, as well as independent teacher time, as well as independent teacher time, as in you come and we work together in a small group based upon things that you might need, things that you need pushed on. It all depends as far as where you're at on our assessment data that we basically are given in class or that you give to me in class. Towards the afternoon, you have about 11:05 to 11:50, we have ELD time. Then we have a short kind of downtime, extra quiet independent time from 11:50 to 12:10. This is where you could do extra work. You can use the bathroom. You could probably get drinks, kind of just take a mind break really, really fast, but making sure that we use that time to the best of our abilities and making sure that if there's anything we need to get done, that's during that time. Then from that point, from 12:10 to 12:50, we go to lunch recess. Then from 1 to 2, we come back and we are either going to be doing science, social studies, or inquiry. Depends as far as what's up on the schedule for the whole school. And then from 2 to 2:15, we're going to have ATL reflection time. And this is probably where you're going to have to sit down and self-reflect on what you did for that day, how well did you do it, how comfortable did you do it, as well as what is a goal that you want to work on for the next day. And then, of course, we get ready to go home. From that point on, we're going to discuss now classroom expectations. Now, what does that look like? Well, for one, being a leader, being a strong communicator, being able to discuss and explain exactly what's going on is an expectation, as well as being there for others, uplifting, caring, making sure that if someone needs help, that you basically step in and you are helping them for whatever struggle that they're going through, or if they just need help in picking up some pieces of paper on their ground. It's more or less just working together and being a caring community, as well as when during we have whole group lessons or small group lessons, or when someone's speaking to you, that your whole body is listening. That means that you are able to sit there and listen to what they're talking about, and your mind's not going to something else while you're trying to listen to what they're trying to tell you. Another expectation is participation. So even though there's going to be some things that are going to be hard, they're going to be really confusing, and you might not get it the first time. You always want to be able to just take a risk take, just be a risk taker. Just say the answer, even if it's wrong. That being a risk taker is the way that you could jump in and kind of push yourself to learn something new. And I will help you get there. And there'll be others in the classroom that will set up an environment that if there's something you quite don't feel comfortable with, we could all help you. There's going to be some structures in order to help you get through some of these expectations that you might find a little difficult. If you want to know a little bit more, so I have dedicated a classroom website that's strictly for us. And this is how it basically looks. And in the classroom website, it is located in our Google Classroom, as well as it will be emailed to parents just in case. But there's different sections and categories. So the first section that you're going to see is the About Me. In the About Me, that's basically all about me, how long I've been teaching, what I like, little information about my family, where I've come from. Curriculum. The curriculum section is basically listing each quarter's standards for reading, writing, and math, and social studies and science, as well as how, what we're going to cover, what and when. It might be changed a little as the year goes on, but that's where you could find all the standards that we're going to cover. Then you have the announcements. This is basically where I kind of update any new events, any field trips, any picture days, any events that are happening in class that I feel that you need to be aware of. This is where you could find them. So anytime you just go under the announcements, look for the date or look for what you haven't seen and just double check it. Then we have a section called Taking Care of Ourselves. And in this section, I just kind of found short videos of how to wash our hands, how to cover our mouths, how to basically make sure that even though there's no expectations as far as COVID is happening, but we're still being healthy and making sure that before we eat, we wash our hands. After we use the bathroom, we wash our hands. If we are sneezing, make sure we cover our noses. But if we sneeze in our hands, just to kind of make sure you wash it or use hand sanitizer. So just those are quick videos. Under resources, it's a little more difficult, a little more detailed. You have everything from policies and procedures. You have technology apps that we're going to be using in class. So if you forget the website on how to get to A to Z or Google Classroom or Prodigy, that's all going to be there as well. Under the resources, that's the reason why there's a little arrow pointing down because there's much more subcategories. So feel free to look at that as well. The website's going to be up the entire school year. So it really just depends on whenever you need it. But this is our one area access in order to get the information that you need. So when we're thinking of how does expectations look? So we talked about the traits. So let's talk about respect. Respect is a big thing when it comes to my classroom. Making sure that we're following the code of conduct in the Wheeling Handbook. Making sure that we're always coming to school prepared. If you need your Chromebook every day, you're going to be taking it home, make sure you bring it back. Make sure you complete your homework and bring that to school. Making sure that you are kind, polite, and courteous to others, as well as making sure you control your hands and feet, that you're keeping them to yourselves, as well as come to school, work hard, and always do your best. That's all I expect. I want you to come to school and make sure that you're always doing your best. Even though it might be different than somebody else, you know to your best ability that is your best. Now, when we're entering the classroom, if you are a tardy, you do need to go to the office and make sure that you get a tardy pass. Because if you do not have one, I will not let you into the classroom. I will send you back to the office to check in. Or unless you have a pass from a teacher explaining, you might have been helping someone or something. Then you want to come in, unload your backpack, making sure that on your desk you have your homework folder, you have a lunchbox if you brought it, and anything else that you might need for class. Your homework, folders, spiral notebooks, if you brought anything, a special pencil case, making sure you take that out. Because backpacks will not be allowed in the middle of class. You go get it, you go to your backpack and come back. They will be hung on a hook and they will stay there the entire time. You will have limited access to going back to your backpack unless necessary. Then your lunchbox will go into a basket in which the basket will be accompanying you to your lunchroom, wherever the area is going to be located. So all the lunch boxes will be in there. Someone will basically, or a team will be responsible to take the lunch basket and bring the lunch basket back. Making sure that if you have any homework, you turn it into the homework basket that's located in the student center. And I will explain when you come into class where the student center is. Then also making sure that you have your digital daily agendas ready on the board every day. All the assignments that we'll be doing for the day will be listed and up for you to do. In your agenda, you'll basically look that up, type it in. It is a digital agenda, so your parents can see it every day just in case you forget. Now, also, class participation. All students will be actively involved. So, in any way, shape, or form, raising your hand, answering questions, writing it down, sharing it with a neighbor, the behavior and expectation of being involved in class also includes your attitude as well as your effort. If you would like to say something, make sure you raise your hand and you will wait for recognition, and then you share your question or comment. Then during independent work time, it's independent work time, so you're working by yourself, and there should be absolutely no talking. Then during partner or group work, the expectation is about a level one, so it's about a whisper, but you're not yelling, you're not screaming. And you also want to make sure that you clean up the area that you're located in during your partner group or your station group. Any class assignment that's not completed in class, you will have to take it home in order to complete it. If it's on your Chromebook, which the majority of them will be, then make sure that you finish it digitally on your Chromebook as well. Homework will be given to you in a packet every Friday, and you will have the entire week until the next Friday to turn it in, no later than basically the end of the day. So your homework has to be turned in by the next Friday. If you want to turn it in earlier, that's fine. But it's up to you on how you want to do it. But this, you got to pack it on Friday. You have till the following Friday in order to finish it. So you have Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then you have to turn it on that Friday. So don't forget those packets. Now, eating, snacks. I allow snacks, but they have to be a healthy snack. It could be eaten during class, but it has to be eaten during independent work time. That means that you are quietly sitting at your desk, working by yourself, eating your snack. You are eating your snack while doing your work. It has to be simultaneous. You cannot just sit there, eat the snack, and start talking. It's not talking time. You could eat your snack during any independent work time, but making sure that you're eating and working. If the snack does become a problem or you can't focus, unfortunately, you will lose the snack privilege. But if you follow the rules, you're fine. Snacks do have to be on the top of the tables in order for me to see them. I do not like snacks inside the desk because it creates trash, crumbs, and insect problems that we necessarily don't need. So we want to make sure that those snacks stay on the table. Water bottles. You could totally bring a water bottle, but the water bottle has to be filled with only water. Not Gatorade, not Kool-Aid, not orange juice, not even apple juice. Has to be only water. Can it be like vitamin water? Unfortunately, no. Just has to be water. And it does have to have a cap on it of some sort so it doesn't spill anywhere and basically ruin any technology that might be around. You also might want to be cautious of the size of the bottle. You don't want to bring a huge bottle that makes you go to more bathroom breaks. You want to make sure that you just a decent sized bottle. Usually a water bottle is a good size. Bathroom breaks. Bring me to that. There's going to be designated bathroom breaks throughout the day. So don't worry. You're going to be able to you're going to be able to use the bathroom during this time. We'll discuss it as soon as you come into class. Then grading. Grading goes into various forms. So grading, you're going to get journal work, exit tickets, independent work, small group assignments, mini assessments. You're going to have quizzes, daily conversations. Those are all going to be included in the grading. Grading is going to be focused in on a 4-point scale. On a 4-point scale, you have level 4, which is basically advanced, means that I know I can do the learning target well enough that I can make corrections that were not taught to me. That's a level 4. Level 3, proficient. That means I know and can do the entire learning target without making any mistakes. 2, partial proficient. I know I can do the easy parts, but I do not know and cannot do the harder parts. And level 1, with help, I know and can do some of the learning target. So that's how the grading is kind of based on all of the pieces that are above in the grading section. Absences. If a student is absent, They will have 3 days to collect all the assignments for that particular day and complete them within 3 days. Submission of any missing assignments after the 3 days will not be accepted. All assignments will be located in the wish basket that's categorized by date. The wish basket will have all the assignments for the current week. Once the week begins, all those assignments from the previous week will relocate to the extra bin. So you want to make sure that if you're absent on a Friday, that those assignments will not be in the wish basket. They will actually be in the extra bin. There's also, this is a good idea to find a partner in class that can share their daily agenda with you just in case you're absent. If you're in class, all the assignments will be written on a calendar, and this will be a job that a student will have to do. They basically copy everything from the board for that day and they write it on the calendar. So anyone who's absent, it's their responsibility to either check with the partner on their daily agenda, or two, go to the calendar that's located in the back of the room, type it inside their daily agenda so then they could basically collect whatever they need to collect. Then, any extra help? So, the team that you are sitting at, that is your first thing. So, the first person, if you need any clarification, you want to make sure that you depend on the resources that are available to you. So, first, check with your table. Make sure that at your table you ask a person that you trust, table mate. Now, if no one at your table gives you the answer that you want, or you're still confused and you need more clarification, then you're going to ask another team member at a different table. Now, that means that you're getting up and your main goal is to ask them what your question is. It's not to talk, it's not to collaborate, it's not to basically talk about what you did last night. It's literally the question you have for clarification. Thank you, and come back to your seat. Now, if that doesn't help, then of course, you still can come and ask me for additional help that maybe I could basically help. Now, I know there's some questions that your teammates can't really answer all the time, but that's the reason why you have that chain of questioning, table mates, then outside table mate, and then you basically come to me, and then maybe we could problem solve and figure it out. Rewards are going to be, but not limited to, high fives, verbal praise, positive phone calls or texts to parents, applause. And there's going to be a lot of opportunities for individual, team, and whole group incentives. So be on the lookout for that. Consequences. Well, consequences all vary upon the severity of the action and decision. Consequences they could be a verbal warning, they could be a negative phone call home or a text home, could be a reflection document, could be a referral. It basically all depends on, of course, the severity of the action. Now, if necessary, I could call the dean of students or admin in order to come help. But for the most part, we try to figure it out. Every action that's done, we try to figure out what's the lesson that's basically being taught from that. So that is the goal as far as when it comes to consequence. Now, dismissal. So at the end, from 2 o'clock to 2:15, it's basically where we're packing up our things, getting ready to go home. We're going to stack our chairs into stacks of 4 and place them on the outside of our group table. Then we're going to make sure that our tabletops, our floors, as well as our desks are clean of any trash, extra paper, any loose erasers, anything that makes it more difficult to get in and out. We're going to make sure that we clean that out. Then, while you're doing that, you're also going to have dedicated jobs to making sure that the whole classroom is completed. So you're going to have duties and jobs such as making sure that everyone gets their homework, making sure that everyone cleans up the floors. We basically work all together as a team to make sure that when we leave this classroom, it's nice and neat and ready for us to learn the next day. Because some things can be very distracting, but we're going to make sure that everything's nice and neat and organized before we leave for that day. Then we're going to come to basically our reflection time. In our reflection time, you can shout out any students, classmates that basically have helped you, that you want to shout out, that have done something for you, that you feel that you need to shout them out for. And it could be, thank you so-and-so for helping me with my math today because I was really confused and I didn't know how to do fractions. It could be, Thank you, so and so, for grabbing my lunch today because I totally forgot it on my table. That could be a simple shout out. Then from that point, we basically leave the building in one nice, neat line alongside the right side of the hallway, in which we will say our goodbyes. People who go to after school go to after school. People who go to the bus go to the bus. And the people that basically have rides home will wait with me outside in the grass until they see their car or parent. Now, one thing that I do want to make sure that is kind of clear, grades will be on a program called ThinkWave. ThinkWave is an online grading program that allows parents to see exactly what their child has received on each assignment. Every 2 weeks, you will be receiving a bi-weekly progress report of all the assignments we've done, as well as the grades that they've gotten on it. Now, I use this. It will come as a PDF, and in the PDF, you will see all the assignments and what they got on it. Now, could you see these same assignments on Google Classroom? Of course, but not all the assignments are going to be in Google Classroom. So that's why you want to make sure that ThinkWave is kind of the main area that you look for any grades, because these are used when we do report cards. And I basically go off of that. So this is a free program. It's an app. Every parent has their own dedicated password and code that I could give them if they would like to. And basically, it allows you to see whenever you want to look at it, any progress or any grades that your child has made in class. Now, weekly agendas. I've kind of discussed this before, but this is how it looks. So in the beginning, it's a digital agenda. Every week, you will get a new agenda for the week. And so here in the gray box, you're basically going to write, this is the week of whatever the week is. So for this week, it's going to be August 9th to the 12th. Then on this greenish teal box, you're going to write down the name. You're going to write down your name to make sure that it belongs to you, that if anyone else tries to get it, it's yours. Now, the second page of the agenda is going to look like this, Monday through Friday. And on the left side, where it's that greenish teal color again, this is where you're going to type in the subjects. Now, it's your agenda. You could do whatever subjects in order, whatever you want. So if you want to do math first, reading, writing, science, social studies, that's fine. You could I even made you an extra box that you could put extra for notes. But then you're going to click in on whatever that subject is going across and whatever that day is. And you're going to type it in, whatever the assignment is that's located on the board. And that's all you do. You type in whatever's on the board. Then once your agenda is done, you're done. So this will help you organize as far as what you've done and what you haven't done. And when you are finished with an assignment and you've turned it into the in basket, then you can highlight it. You can highlight the box and say, I'm done. So it's more a visual cue for you to kind of keep track of the assignments that you've done. Then reminders. So you will get friendly reminders of upcoming events anytime that basically I receive them. You also might get some daily emails about missing attendance. So it's just like a reminder saying, hey, your child was absent today. Make sure they pick up their assignments. Then you're also going to have missing assignment reminders. So this is weekly. So every week I grade, I put it in ThinkWave, and I send a reminder to any parent whose child has received 1-0. If they received 1-0, they'll get a reminder saying, hey, your child has received 1-0. Please double check and see what's going on. And then maybe we could figure out where the 0 lies. And then, of course, the biweekly progress reports. And this would be probably more on a Wednesday, probably midweek. Not necessarily Wednesday, but the goal is Wednesday. So every 2 weeks. And then, of course, updates of any various events that we might have. So first dot and the fifth dot are kind of similar, but it all depends on what they basically decide to give us. Now, contact information. This is my email address. This is my phone number. This is Dojo, of course. Dojo can work as well, and I've already added all students and parents that have already signed up for it. Or you could also do Talking Points. Talking Points has a translated opportunity where you get on the app, you type it in, and it automatically translates it to the language of your choice. You could also find this information inside the Google Classroom website, in which you could look at any point in time. So, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our kind of video for the day. This is our back to school orientation night. If you weren't able to meet us, no problem. You could go ahead and watch this video, and it kind of tells you everything I'd go over during the meeting. I can't wait to see and work with you guys.